Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rachakwadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who are teaching 100% truth of the Holy Scriptures. Shalom to the elect. Shalom to the brothers that are pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, in truth and sincerity. And this lesson is going to be entitled Concentration Camps. And, there's a spirit because Elder Apostle Gabar was going into it yesterday's stream, right? And he was played several videos, right? And I had started it but hadn't finished it until today, right? And basically, when I had wrote everything down, it was basically the same precepts that I had written down, and then by the time I ended up watching the video, I was like, oh shit, those are the same ones that I had, and it's just basically I'm gonna add one more thing to what the apostle had thrown down, right? Because he had mentioned the ICE is buying up these warehouses, excuse me, and it's ultimately, it's like the dude has stated. One of them in these videos has stated that uh, the next step is that they're gonna so-called use it for illegal immigrants, and that's what they're doing now, right? And you're hearing reports of motherfuckers getting tortured, right? Bitches getting raped, motherfuckers is malnourished. Shit is what it is, man. It's a concentration camp. I was hearing a report where they were talking about, well, it's this big storage with the warehouses, and um, it's not qualified, or it doesn't have the amenities for it, to be a detention center, right? Because you gotta have a certain amount of bathrooms and infirmaries and like a cafeteria, so to speak, or a kitchen, right? But right now they're using them for, oh well, we're gonna house them and this and that, but in reality, man, they're gonna be termination camps to put your ass to death. And that is the truth about it, man, right? This is Jeremiah chapter 15 and verse 2. It says, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity, right? And fair warnings has been going out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to repent. Yet it seems to fall on deaf ears, right? The motherfuckers don't listen, so shit. And that's just the thing. We have to get out of our eye, start with myself, because, we see the videos and hear what the fuck's going on and be like, damn. And we understand this ultimately is the judgment from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So the captivity to the captivity, there's certain allotted people that shall, get put in them concentration camps. All right, because they do have a red list, blue list, and yellow list. And red list is termination. Right there, you're too far. You're too far gone. And we had done a lesson, me and the brother, and stated they were gonna come early as fuck in the morning, in the wee hours in the morning, and snatch you up. 2 weeks before the New World Order, right? The riots and shit like that really pop off. You can't have a voice of rebellion, and we, as the prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and those that tapped into the lessons, red list can't do none with these, right? And I think blue list was like yellow list was think you have a chance to make it if they um if they uh like lobotomize you, so to speak. They torture you, and then your views change, and then blue is um like they don't give a fuck, where it's like soft target, so to speak. All right, but there's going to be certain people that are going to die by the sword, right? Famine is going to touch here, and of course, man, captivity. All right, so I'm gonna get this this is from sahanjournal.com, February 9th, chapter 2026. It says immigration, a federal appeals court just greenlit Trump's mass deportation policy. Here's what it means for Minnesota, right? And this is a point just adding to Apostle Gabar, because he had mentioned them buying the warehouses, ICE, okay, in the red list and the blue list, right? And this is immigrants held in Texas now have limited legal options and indefinite timelines for detention. Definite. Unknown, vague, lasting for an unknown or unstated length of time, right? So they could be in there for fucking ever, right? This is timelines for detention, and Minnesota immigration authorities will continue to send detainees out of state as quickly as possible. And this is just in the Fifth Circuit. It'll tell you here's an appeal court decision late Friday has paved the way for immigrants detained in Minnesota to be held indefinitely in Texas detention facilities. It says in a 2-1 ruling, Judge Edith Jones, a Reagan appointee in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, that's Texas area, said that the federal government was justified in its use of a 1996 border entry statute to detain immigrants indefinitely, meaning, shit, the motherfuckers could just be jailed, right? It says Judge Kyle Duncan, a Trump appointee, agreed with Biden appointee, while a Biden appointee, Dana Douglas, dissented. It says the ruling has significant ramifications for immigrants detained in Minnesota who have increasingly been rushed out of state to detention facilities in Texas, which is the Fifth Circuit's jurisdiction. According to ACLU Policy Counsel John Buehler, the court's decision to subject detainees to mandatory detention without bond hearings, where an immigration judge determines if a detained individual can be released from custody, is a particularly difficult blow, right? So now they're not going to have a bond, right? And then they're just snatching so many people, shit, the court is finna be backed up so much. That's why, and like that dude said, they gonna use it for immigrants now, but then how much more when it gets used for, they're already starting to subpoena, well, they're trying to subpoena these different social media outlets to get people that are speaking against the Trump administration. Now, how much more us will we say, fuck the left and the right? America gotta go down, right? The whole system. You had that bitch Pam Bondi talk about if we persecute, then the whole system will collapse. Well, let that bitch collapse. Matter of fact, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is gonna make this bitch collapse, right? Because we are truly anti-America, right? But pro Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So that makes us righteous in the Lord's eyes, but evil in the eyes of this goddamn devil. Right, and this is gonna be a fairly quick one. I only got a couple. Revelation 2 and verse 10 that the apostle brought out with the bishop. It says, Revelation 2 and verse 12, it says, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, right, in concentration camps, and living here in the Inland Empire. It is like the biggest hub for like, damn, I don't know the correct term, but it's basically, it's hella warehouses out here. Commerce, I think, would be the correct term. Right, you got all these warehouses, right, where they transport stuff. Okay, different docks, and you got the airports, and then they go to these different warehouses. But through the spirit, they have been building hella warehouses, and I'm thinking like, bro, what the fuck? And I've been had thought this, like, these motherfuckers, yeah, these are gonna be concentration camps. So be it. Look, it says cast some of you into prison, and this devil ain't talking about this spiritual demon Satan, right? I had made a lesson, the last lesson, who the fuck is Satan, right? And Satan is this, and in this case is the devil, is the so-called white man. It says that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Right, so them 10 days is a complete number. So whatever amount of days is allotted, right, don't give up the faith. Yahweh Shem Yahushai is ultimately testing whomever is part of that lot. It says that ye may be tried, correct, right? And then end off with this here. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. And it's ultimately, Jacob's trouble, but you're going to have Edomites and all these different heathen nations that they're going to get caught up in that too, right? Because part of the, what is that? The Georgia Guidestones is that you have to keep the population under 500 million. So that means a lot of people got to go. Right? So it says, and they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? For the most part, it's going to be gunning for the elect, but hey, man, they got to take out Israel. That's part of their plan. So that way the blessing, they get a hold of their blessing back. But that ain't gonna happen. It says they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right? And that's what's going to be happening. We've seen these different agencies, ICE mainly, running up in your home without a warrant. See, but there is all they need is just one false flag away in order for the Constitution to be truly, be thrown in the trash, so to speak, to where you have no constitutional rights. And remember, they had that little database. We got our little database, right? So they're everything is being tracked. Every word you say online, they're hearing you on your phone. You think it's off. All right. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. Right, and that's the Lord's elect, because, right, going into getting captured, say you do get captured, well, that's going to be a trial of your faith. Trial of our faith, I should say, because we don't know who is going to be caught and who ain't going to be caught. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you out of the same. It's talking about the elect. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is your guide, right? And the guide of them who keep my commandments and precepts, Saith Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai power, let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift you up. So the Lord's elect finna be saved. They will be protected, right? But even if we get captured, we still have to keep our faith, because a whole lot of hell's finna break loose. It says, like what? Like a madman sparing none. And that is the MO of Esau Edom. No children, no grannies, all right? Your crippled fucking little cousin, right? They all gonna get it, because that's part of the, again, Pascal Bar, I think 2 days ago or 3 days ago, culling, right? Selective, taking out of people, right? There's too many. So I'm gonna close out by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Shalom.